On the physical side of things, I think, we are pretty tired, and I think some of us are burnt out. I think we've been doing our best to kind of tackle the fatigue issue, but it still does exist just because we've been playing for so long now, like in one stretch.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT Americas Stage 1. This time I'm accompanied once again by zekken of Sentinels, who are coming off of a 2-0 loss to Loud in week 4 of said competition. So zekken, like I said before, thank you so much for taking the time and look covering this series against Loud. Another loss to the Sentinels team, putting them, I believe, in last place of your respective group. I mean, starting off, how are you feeling? How are you taking in this result?
Uh, I mean, it's not good. I definitely don't feel good. It's a tough loss, but Loud played really well. Just yeah, not feeling great.
Then I gotta hit you with the obligatory what went wrong.
I think Loud just played a really good game today. Obviously on our end, we're making a lot of mistakes. I think this is probably the worst form we've been in a few months. Um, yeah, we're just making a lot of mistakes. But Loud played really well, so they earned it.
Going then a little bit deeper into first map in Lotus. Your selected map, a map that you guys have been strong in. So far in the season up until this point. I mean, not doing well. Going 10-2 on defense in that first half. It kind of set the tone for what this series would then become for its entirety. But yeah, starting off there, what kind of not allowed you guys to just kind of get off on the right foot in that first map.
I would say they just had a lot of very strong executes. That map, 3 sites, so you get split up a lot. They were very decisive and they knew where they wanted to go. And a lot of the times when they had hits, they'd get sites pretty clean. Usually get a kill or two. And when you go down like that, like 5v4, 5v3, it's very tough to come back from, especially from a good team. So they took advantage and played that really well.
What about from like within team? What do you think kind of caused the teams to just not continue their good form from the start of the year in this encounter?
Um, I mean, we haven't really gotten to change much since the last time we played them. So I think they had a pretty good idea of how we were gonna play going into it. So Salah could call around it, and he's one of the best IGLs, so he can game plan for that really effectively. I think yeah, it's been hard to like change up things since we last seen them, and they were able to punish us for that.
And now going over to Icebox, I mean, it's been pointed out a few times, from the podcast, and I think a little bit from the casters, and I think and as such like that, just sort of just looking at the team's performance, it felt like the team was kind of disconnected in light of what you've been saying. But that said, how did you kind of look at the team's adjustments from map one to map two, and just the subsequent performance in Icebox?
Um, I think map two, our defense on Icebox was a bit better than Lotus. We didn't go down 210, which that's always nice to not go down 210. But we were still pretty disconnected at times. There were times that we were doing things by ourselves or trying to make a plan and things not going as we expected to. Um, I can't really speak for my teammates because a lot of the time I was, opping by myself, so I didn't get to see much because either, they come to me and hopefully I get a kill or I die, or they go to the other side, but it's hard for me to see the other side. So I couldn't see like exactly how things went wrong, but I think overall we were just very disconnected today.
Well, that said, given that you can't speak for the rest of the guys in your team, what about for you particularly? What kind of challenges, the biggest challenge, did the team being allowed thrown upon you in your role and just trying to pick off players from that team?
Um, on defense, they definitely made my life hard. Like I was playing B a lot, and they used a lot of utility like drones or different walls to try and push me off. They use their util very well, and they're very grouped together, so it's hard to punish one of them when there's multiple of them swinging. So I think they just had a very good team play when it came to when they came towards me. Um, but yeah, I think it was mostly just my shots were hitting, So it's not like I couldn't do anything, but when they did run into me, they did a good job of doing the things they needed to do to make sure I couldn't get into the rounds.
Yeah, of course. And that said, I'm gonna pivot towards, the team's form right now. I've been talking to a few of your teammates and including Captain, before this week, and just sort of covering what is going wrong with the Sentinel squad. And of course, you've been mentioning it. You also mentioned it a little bit so far in this conversation, but more so, it's just the fact that the, because of a tight schedule and just the team having to refocus from Madrid and not having enough time to just kind of rest and also innovate. It's kind of led to this kind of situation, and in addition to like fatigue and stuff, of course, with the tight schedule affecting you guys on the physical side, and yeah, like how difficult has it been then for you to kind of experience this kind of stretch and just have all of these kinds of obstacles affecting your performance and just not enabling you guys to just take home wins?
Um, on the physical side of things, I think we are pretty tired, and I think some of us are burnt out. I think despite us, we're 2-3 right now. I think we've shown a lot of resilience on that end. We still are very motivated, and people are still playing a ton. So I think we've been doing our best to kind of tackle the fatigue issue, but it still does exist just because we've been playing for so long now, like in one stretch. I think the tight schedule is affecting us as well. I think it affects both us and Loud because we had a very similar situation. They had it worse, but we had a similar situation where we didn't get John back until the day of the game, and I think it was the same for them where they didn't get their Loud didn't get their four players back until the day before the game. But like jet lag affected it just for that week, but after that, like I think neither of us had any time to innovate. It's hard to innovate when you don't have any time to really practice it or go over it. That's why I think both us and Loud are having pretty bad splits right now. They're 1-3, I believe, and we're 2-3. So it's tough for us to change how we looked since Madrid. Like Loud is trying to, they're innovating a bit. Like you see the deadlock on Lotus, but like for example, like the first time they played it, it didn't look great because they just didn't have the time to really do that. So on the innovation front, I think, in my honest opinion, I think it's kind of impossible with the amount of time that we've been given to really innovate and change up how we look. But you just have to work through it and keep trying.
That said, what do you think? Not what do you think, but what has the team been just trying to just adjust amidst this kind of stretch of not being able to just kind of change things up in such a tight schedule before matches? What kind of things then has the team been kind of focusing on?
Just trying to focus on good fundamentals and good communication. Obviously, we haven't been the best at that, especially today. I think we were very off in that regard today, but that's pretty much what we've been trying to work on, knowing that we don't really have time to change things up.
And yeah, now a little bit focusing now towards the future. You've got one more match remaining, and then that's against Furia. But still, not sure what's going to happen with this team in terms of just making playoffs or not. With the rest of the matches we had have in week 4 as of the time of the recording, and just sort of just now looking over to just that match against Furia with that kind of thought process concerning playoffs in mind. How are you going to like approach this next encounter, this next series in stage 1?
We're just gonna go and do our best. I mean, the same thing as before. We don't really have time the matches next week to really completely change how we look or bring something like crazy or new to the table. But we just have to keep going, keep playing, keep working on our fundamentals, working on our communication. Even if we don't have like a new crazy game plan for the Furia match, we still have to come in a lot better than we did today if we want to win it. So we just have to keep working and do our best for that match.
Yeah, of course, and that's it. Hopefully, you guys are able to do exactly that. Zekken, thank you so much for taking the time. Despite the result, it's always good to talk to players coming off of a loss and just have them talk about that encounter. So to see you do that, really appreciate it. That's it. Really appreciate it one more time, and best of luck for the next one.
Thank you so much.